So now we're going to talk about creating a Nearpod lesson. And this is my second video for the tutorial. If you haven't watched the first one on how to find lessons, please go ahead and do so. And if you have any questions, please make sure you leave a comment below. So when you create a lesson, you can do it this way or you can do it here. Now if you create a lesson in Google Slides, it's actually going to take you to Google Slides. I'll show you how to do that in a second. If you do the lesson in Nearpod, it's going to keep you in the Nearpod portal. Now I've been told there's very little difference, but when you keep it in Nearpod, there's a little bit more that you can do. You can rearrange stuff, you can copy slides, and there is a workaround with that I can show you as well. But let's go ahead and let's do lesson in Google Slides. So as you see, it's going to take you to Google Slides. Now I like using Google Slides, but like I said, there is a workaround, so I can still use the full extent of Nearpod when I do it. But here's how it works. You go to Add-ons, and you're still in Google Slides. You go to Nearpod, and you go to Open Nearpod. Right here, you're going to see that there's things that you can add. There's activities, there's some content, all this different stuff. We'll get to activities in the third video. But essentially, if I want to add a open-ended question, I'd click on it, and I have my question right here. Hit save. And there you go. And if you want to edit it, you just click here. They have a little arrow there. You can still move it around your different slides. Okay, if I want to put it in the front, if I want to move it maybe later on. Okay, and that's how you do it. And when you hit save and go to Nearpod, it takes you back to Nearpod. Now, if you ever need to edit it again, it will take you back to Google Slides. But here's my brand new Nearpod lesson. And if I ever want to edit it, it takes me back to Google Slides for the editing. Now, when you go into Nearpod itself, you could also upload files. And when you do that, you can upload things from Drive or PowerPoint. So if I want to upload Google Files, then it will keep the files on Google or on Nearpod, and I don't have to go back to Google Drive. So this is good if you already have a finished lesson. But if you do need to add more slides, you could make the slide into its own little document and then upload that, and it can be added onto here. So now I'm still on Nearpod. I can move things around. I can use the full extent of Nearpod. You can also, I think there's a couple things that are on Nearpod that aren't on Google Slides. I was told the interactive text is one that's not on there. Also, there's some things like if you make a quiz, it'll ask you, you can convert it to time to climb, and I don't think you can do that with Google Slides as well. So this is a good workaround. If you have something that's done, you can add it on, or maybe you need a couple more slides, you can make that into its own separate Google slide and still add those. So I can also upload more files if I need to. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's say I want to upload what I just made earlier. Well, I can select that, and it uploads it. And you'll see them pop up right here. Yep, there they are. So that's one way you can do that for Nearpod. And if you want to add any more content, let's say you want to add a video, where you go here to video, it's going to ask you for the YouTube link, or you can download it here. If you want to add slides, this is a very limited feature. Their slides, I don't really like the layouts. You only get 4 different layouts, and the text you can't really change. So if you're going to make a slide, I would recommend doing it on Google Slides and then uploading those files. To me, it's just a little bit more user-friendly. You could also use vocabulary. These are like vocabulary videos that immerse vocab acquisition with hip-hop. Nearpod 3D, I'm not too sure about what it is. It's okay, so it looks like it's just different three-dimensional things that kids can look at, Aztec Temple, Animal Cell, that kind of stuff. PhET is like math or science simulation. So like you have a scale. This one's Energy Skate Park. It talks about potential or kinetic energy and friction, and you can move the skater. So these are little activities that kids can do as well. Field Trip, VR, virtual reality. Oh, let me go back. You can find a place, and it'll give them like a 360 view of it, and a little mini field trip. Graphic calculator. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really use BBC Video, so I can't really talk too much about that. Sway is like different types of books or texts that you might want to put in there. Kids might want to you might want them to read something, and you can find it using Sway. And Slideshow is if you have multiple slides that you want to be on just one thing. So maybe you have, a vocab word and you want to have another slide defining it, but you want them to be together. Well, that's what you would use Slideshow for. Okay? Audio is if you want to add audio to something. And PDF viewer and live Twitter stream I don't really use too much, so I can't talk too much about that. Okay? And add web content, like I said earlier in my previous video, that's just a URL to a website if you want them to look at it. And that's really all there is to it to make a Nearpod lesson. You put your title up here, point 3, compare and contrast. You hit save and exit, and there you go. Oh, it's going to also ask you what grade you have, what subject this is, any descriptions if you want. And when you hit save and exit, it saves it for you. And there you go. It's up on Nearpod. Okay, you can edit it, preview it, or just start it. Thanks for watching. We're going to do another video on activities in Nearpod.